Today we're doing unique ways to make fire beats. Let's go! Starting off with the BPM, I'm just gonna have it at 145. Nice and simple, just like that. The first tip I have for you guys to make more unique beats is actually starting off with your sound selection. So obviously, since everybody is pretty much using the same VSTs and contact banks, you kind of want to do a different type of sound. So for this bit, I'm actually just going to try to use sounds from my one-shot kit. So I have my Imperial one-shot kit right here. If you like the sounds and you want to check them out, you can obviously use the link down below. But the reason why one-shots is so good when it comes to unique beats is actually because you can manipulate them in crazy ways. So I'm just going to start off with some keys and I'm going to show you guys the quick example. Yeah, I'm going to use this key right here. Just drag it in. Now, when you're using one-shots, you for sure want to tweak these settings a little bit. So I'm just starting off with turning off loop points and load regions. Then we're just going to put this to stretch. The bleeding mode can be on generic, but it doesn't really matter. Now going for the envelope, we're just going to turn the attack down to something like 3%. Put the hold all the way up, the decay a little bit down, the sustain as well. These last three knobs, you can pretty much just tweak however you like. Now that's pretty much it for the one-shot. I'm feeling like going for a dark vibe since it's easy to manipulate the sound. So let me just put down a quick piano pattern. Just something super simple like this. You might think this sounds trash right now, but trust me, bro, it's gonna be way better. Because the trick to make more unique stuff is actually to mess around with the sound and also to mess around with the effects. So I'm simply just gonna start off with the reverb. And now we come to the cool part. So the trick is actually to use these type of effects that are going to switch the whole sound completely. So for example, that could be effects like halftime, portal, and even effect track actually. So I'm going to try to use some of the effects for this sample right here. And you're actually going to hear how it's going to change the whole sound. So you can see this sounds super dark right now. But we actually want to change up some of the effects right here. So just going to start off by turning this all the way to the left. So the FX is on 500. Turn this to half a bar. You can already hear the difference. Maybe we can even touch this right here. Gives it a cool dark vibe. Now let's also try to add some portal and see how this might sound. So you can really hear how it changes the whole thing. The piano sounds completely different to what it started off with. Let's just add a quick EQ to that as well. So we have a cool and unique sound for the main part, but we for sure need to add some more sounds to this. So again, going to the keys, you want to try to find some cool sounding sounds. So like this one right here. This one has a cool reverse type effect on the end. So we're just going to clone these keys right here and just drag this one in. This is just so you don't have to do all the same things over again. Now for this counter melody, we're going to add effect track and play around with the presets until we found something that sounds nice. So you can really hear again how this changes the whole sound. The piano sounds completely different once again. Now again, going to the one-shot kit, we're going to try to add some strings to this. Yeah, I like this one right here. Just a quick repetitive pattern. Just changing up the pattern. Make it sound a bit better with the rest of the melody. Play around with portal again to change up the strings a little bit. So now we have the whole melody right there. I'm just going to highlight everything and hit Ctrl Alt and C on my keyboard. This is quickly just going to consolidate it to in one waveform. So now that we have it in one waveform, I'm just going to normalize it first just so it's a bit louder. And then we can actually turn off these effects right here so they don't mess around with this sample. And then just try to reverse it maybe. So it completely changes the whole vibe. So you can hear how the effects we added earlier actually sound different yet again since we're reversing the sample and switching up everything. So now we are actually just going to put this to stretch mode. And then we're actually also going to mess around with the BPM right now. So about 120. And we can even try to shorten this right here. See how this sounds. So now to make this different yet again, we're just going to put this to stretch mode right there. And then I'm actually going to turn up the BPM to about 180, put this stretch right here and try to drag this out, see how this sounds. Again, it sounds so unique right here. So now to make the sample even cooler, you can actually just chop up some parts right here, try to find something that sounds nice. So you can of course do this manually if you want to chop it up like this and do some switch ups, but I'm actually going to open up Fruity Slicer right here, and then we can actually just drag this into Fruity Slicer. So then you want to go into here and press on beat, then also just turn up the attack a little bit so it doesn't have the clicking type of noises. Then we can go into the MIDI right here and try to switch up some of the notes. Yeah, I like this first part right there. So you can really hear how the sample completely changed up, and it's way more unique than what we started off with. This is all because of the sound selection, the effects, and also the slicing we did at the end. Just adding some final touches to the final sample. So just to add a counter melody to the final chop we have, I'm actually just going to drag in a flute from my one-shot kit. I'm going to pick this flute phrase 17. Since the BPM is off, we obviously want to fix that a little bit. So I'm just going to go into stretch right here, and then we can actually try to pitch it down by 1 octave. Now I know that the first part ends right here, so I'm going to try to do some more unique stuff and try to drag this all the way over here. Maybe just copy this first part over. Yeah, that's kind of cool right there. Lastly, we're just going to play around with the pitch of the sample. Yeah, I think it's nice when it's pitched down by 2. Alright, so I think the sample sounds more unique than it actually needs to be, but I feel like you guys get the point. Let's get on to the drums. As you guys probably know, for the drums, I'm using my No Limit drum kit, so if you need some new drum sounds or you want to use the same as me, you can obviously check it out. Like I said, the link to all my packs is down below in the description. Put the velocity up a little bit. Let's get a nice bounce going with the hi-hats. A little bit of a different but cool bounce on the hi-hats. Let's add some perks and see if we can find some more bounce. I feel like going for a super hard 808 on this one. Maybe something like this. Yeah, a little bit of a unique 808. We're just gonna put a kick on the first hit as well. Just makes it a bit more punchy. I'm quickly just gonna structure this one, and then I'll show you guys the final result at the end. So we have the full beat right here. I'm just gonna quickly go through it with you guys. Just a super simple intro, only the melody playing. Then we have a riser for the hook. The flute comes in. Just a little bit subtle in the background. A little bit of a drop right there. Super hard 808s, bro. Pitched up the flute for this part. Then it just drops back down.